I think the thesis of the film is genuinely wars make men of us, and that was literally like the arc words of the villain in my show when I wrote The Prince. Like that is what the villain of the show believes and needs to unlearn. And this movie is just like, yeah, it's true based actually.
I genuinely think that this is best understood as pornography. I think that that's the sort of the cultural valence of it. I think that that's the intent of it. And yeah, I hate it like profoundly. But you know, I don't just have to hate it profoundly. I can hate it numerically too, because we have a science-based system.
We have a SCUM system. Well,
across the board.
Well, I don't know about that. So we have the SCUM system, which stands for SMARM, Cultural Insensitivity, Unprovoked Violence, and Misogyny. I think it's gonna probably score pretty highly later on, but I think the S for SMARM might save it, because I don't think this is a particularly smarmy movie.
You fool. All the dialogue is so movie. Everything that Rambo is saying about, like, hang on, let me just pull some, I'll go find some quotes.
If you don't stand for something, you'll die for nothing, I think is one of them. When you're pushed, killing's as easy as breathing. It's got a wikiquote.rambo.
I don't think it has as many, like, movie-ass lines as Rambo 2 and 3.
I remember thinking that it has more, but also I can't back that up because I watched this 3 weeks ago and I don't remember any of them, but I remember having that sense from it.
I would be willing to go like a 3 or a 4 on SMARM, because you're right, it does have some of those like movie-ass lines, but I don't think it is as smarmy as like previous Rambo entries. I think 2 and 3 were really, really smarmy.
To compromise candidate and say 3.
Okay, let me throw this at you. How proud of itself is this movie? Because it, like, all of the decisions that were made in the production of this movie feel to me like someone who is like, we have something to say and we're just doing nothing but saying it. It's a movie that thinks it has a colossal point to make and is making it so often and so self-assuredly and pleasedly that I find the whole valence of the movie to be smarmy.
That's a good, like, so you're viewing SMARM as not just as inherent to dialogue, but in fact to like, yeah, okay, I can see.
We've definitely, mid-bonds, we asked the question, how pleased with itself is this movie?
Yes, I think you're right. You know, this interpretation is grounded in the history and tradition of the people of
I'm a textualist and always have been.
An advanced SMARMologist.
Yeah. In that case, you know, considering how pleased with itself the movie is, I could definitely see scoring it higher, like a 6, maybe.
I think you could certainly describe a lot of the like righteous violence as being filmed in a way that is deeply smarmy. Like when it shows a guy get disemboweled, sort of like at great length, and is like, check this shit out. I think that's very pleased with itself.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. I think you talked me around there. I could go as high as a 6 or a 7 for that.
All right, 7. I've sort of like really been a bellwether there. I acceded to both sort of like interpretations of SMARM immediately.
I think you've won me around there, Dev. I think that's some good scholarship. That's some good podcasting.
Thank you so much.
We're like serious film critics on this podcast.
We are.
Yeah.
Cultural insensitivity.
10.
Great question.
10. 10.
10. Yeah.
10. Holy shit.
Just awful.
The sheer devaluation.
Especially your point, Devon, about like the untranslated dialogue that's just used as like foreign noise.
Yeah, especially when it's the main villain of your movie.
Yeah.
It's just, it's not great to do.
Yeah, his whole deal is foreign.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that separates him meaningfully from Rambo is he's foreign.
I'm just trying to think about what the other Rambos would have been like if you just hadn't translated like any of the Russians, for instance. if they'd just been like if they'd been like electrocuting the shit out of his balls in like Rambo First Blood Part 2, and they'd just been speaking Russian the whole time, that would be, perversely in some ways.
You swap it around, right? You make a movie, release it in a Burmese market, and it's Rambo 1, and Rambo is speaking like a Burmese dialect, whereas the sheriff is just saying gobbledygook, like he has no idea. Like just untranslate these like American cops.
I just bet in my heart that there's a really cool like Burmese poster for First Blood out there. But
so we gave Rambo 2 a 10 out of 10 for cultural insensitivity.
Ooh, okay.
And I think this is actually worse.
I think it is, yeah.
11.
I'm unwilling to break What is the highest number we've ever given something in a single category?
We've never given anything more than 10 because it's supposed to be out of 7, and 10 is supposed to be like extreme situations only.
I think we shouldn't leave it as a decimal cap.
Yeah, all right, 10 it is. Like, couldn't possibly score any higher. Unprovoked.
You want to know this movie's fucking problem is that it shoots all violence the same. It has one fucking playbook.
Yeah.
The violence you're supposed to find unattractive and like disgusting is shot exactly the same as the violence that you're supposed to think is cool. That's where it fucking falls down.
They even use the same mortars.
Yeah.
I forgot about this, but there's this bit where the Karens use the same mortars to attack the army, and it's like the same dudes getting their legs blown off, and you're like, this time it's good.
You're like, yay!
Yeah, because it's being done against people who aren't white. Yeah, 10.
Yeah.
10.
Yeah, number one, people getting their legs blown off, and it's like, oh no. And the second time, people are getting their legs blown off, and it's like, childyay.wav. It's like,
It's racist both coming and going, in that it's both, like, both times it's being applied largely to people who aren't white, but like...
Alright, turn that down and put it in when I said it was.
Big cheer for
Thanks.
racism. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, misogyny then, 10.
Well,
Gotta
now.
be.
10! Well, to be fair,
So,
okay, let's think about this
analyze this.
objectively.
So,
The non-white women that are just abandoned in the camp on the way out.
yeah, that's definitely count. That definitely
Sexual
counts.
threat is used.
Textual explicit sexual assault for non-white women, sexual menace for white women, but that is portrayed more seriously and more threateningly.
No non-white woman has a speaking role.
Yeah, the way that the role of the female character is to be nurturing and loving, and I think you care, and I think I think so much could have been improved had just one of the mercenaries been a woman. Had we just had like one tough girl, one like Ramirez, like one shaved head, like muscular girl, and like would have been.
You keep the geezer exactly the same, but gender swap her.
Yeah, just any other role for woman other than either like victim of sexual assault or like I'm here to be nurturing and kind and teach you how to love again. It's
female geezer is
actress,
played by Helen Mirren.
Just as an actress, it's boring more than anything.
Oh yeah,
there's nothing to do.
It's boring and it's offensive. Are there any other women even in this?
No. It doesn't pass the
doing a
Bechdel
sort of
test,
like
I'll tell you that.
radical theatrical deconstruction where we adapt Rambo for the stage with an all-female cast.
I would fucking love to see that. That would actually genuinely be sick.
I think we should do that, actually. Copyright.
I mean, listen. If you ever want me to be on my extremely annoying, like, sort of playwright shit, I'll knock that out for you.
Check out Abigail Thorn's Twitter for the thread of her trying to acquire the rights to Rambo.
Yeah, it's like I called 60 people trying to get the thing for Rambo.
We will get Rambo, and we will adapt it for the stage.
Yeah, I would. Rambo the musical? That'd be great.
Rambo the hip opera. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Rambo, a post-electric play, anyway.
So, yeah, misogyny, I'm holding out for a 10.
I don't think it's the most misogynistic film we've ever seen.
What do you think is?
What's our highest rated
Probably Goldfinger.
misogynistic movie? We definitely should have
Goldfinger does have a corrective rape, yeah.
That is true. Oh, that is true.
We gave that a 9, I think, on misogyny.
I honestly think it might be worse than Goldfinger in some ways, but I think we can give it equal billing, and I think we can give it a 9.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
this could get more misogynistic.
Yeah, that's true.
Do we want to give like a 7,
It should
8?
and must also. Rambo 5 10s across the board. I want it.
Well, the reason I think 9 is that I think there's a peculiar interaction of sort of like of misogyny and cultural insensitivity, of misogyny and racism, to be clear.
Yes, yeah.
That isn't present in Goldfinger, and that I think we would be remiss not to include.
Yeah, I'm happy to give it a 9 if you are.
Yeah, by all means.
Okay.
All right, that gives it a total score of 36.
I was holding out for that 40.
Which means that Rambo 4 is the worst movie we have ever seen on the podcast. Blowing out of the water our previous winners, which were tied Atomic Blonde, Live and Let Die, and Austin Powers 3. A really interesting trifecta there. They were all sitting joint on 28, but Rambo 4, the new worst film we've ever seen, on 36. Truly execrable crime against cinema.
It's entirely merited, is the
Yeah,
thing.
it
It is
is.
like a profoundly fascist movie.
Yeah, spiritually, I agree. Like this is the worst film we've seen on the podcast.
No, it's
Like,
awful.
I had a horrible time watching it.
This is a movie so bad that when I watched it, I felt it necessary to provide like content warnings in the group chat.
Yeah.
Which we didn't provide for any of you. You don't get those, just us.
I am going to put them in the description. Don't fucking worry about that.
Yeah, it made me feel awful watching this film, and I'm sad
Film
that I wasted
sucked.
my time on it.
You know what I want to put in the description for this? I want to put in some donation links for like Korean refugee and healthcare stuff. I want to do that.
It'll be in there with the SAG-AFTRA stuff and
the
UCU
unions.
as well. Actually, really needs a bit more money.
Nice.
So fuck it, that'll be in there too.
This is the worst I've ever felt having watched a film on this podcast. Like, I don't know, even when the film is bad or offensive, normally it's like, oh, fuck off. But this one, I'm genuinely like, oh, this left me actually feeling bad.
It's because he reckons he's doing a great job of it. That's the bit that like really makes it so grating.
So it leaves a really
Disgusting.
bad taste in my mouth too.